Well, good evening, everybody. I have my sip of green tea before we start. Ocha desu. Oishi. Mm, oishi. All right, so let's get into the general reading and then we'll discuss some things. Um, One of my coaches and teachers earlier was rather fantastic. She gave me some advice too. Um, she explained to me that because we come from like spiritual like forms in essence, like before we even exist in this world, we've actually already seen all the different many paths our destinies could unfold. So it's kind of a fascinating idea that all of our desires really are already here, and that's why even before we see physical evidence of them, if we focus on them, it's like the universe intended for us to focus on those specific things in the first place. It is our souls within that are naturally drawn to certain things, certain desires, objects, people. It's because that was intended for us all along. That's why we feel such an energy. We wouldn't want something if there was no hope of actually achieving it. And I will discuss a small manifestation that actually happened. It happened this morning, oddly enough, at the strangest, most odded time, but in such a small window of time that it had to happen then, or it couldn't have happened at all, perhaps. Very fascinating. We'll talk about that after the reading. So, yeah, for now, we will start with a general reading, and then I will do romance and career, and then I will discuss the very cool manifestation that actually happened earlier this morning. In the meantime, while I wait to see if anybody else who wants their fortunes told, like I said, the usual procedure, just comment gender, zodiac sign, and if you'd like a reading about general future, romance, or career. Anyways, the first card, we got the fiery again. Oh. I think I'm going to shuffle these a bit more. Sometimes I do tend to not shuffle them enough, and it ends up giving me similar cards. But no worries, I can take care of that. All right, great Clow cards created by the one and only Clow read. Please reveal to me your secrets regarding my general future to come as I draw these 10 cards in order. Hmm. Oh, okay. All right, so the first card is the song card, the love card, the snow card again. Okay, we're heading into a new season. The earthy card, the change card. Okay, the storm card, the erase card. Brought that previously. The glow card, the dream card, and the sleep card. Ah, these are very interesting cards. I have gotten some of these before, but it's not uncommon for certain cards to resurface. And what it basically means is it's a continuation of the former cycle of when these cards last surfaced. So, okay. Well, there was actually a very interesting thing to do with songs recently, but this could be speaking of the general future to come. Something to do with a specific song is going to tie me together with love And that is going to bring about the change of seasons. As I mentioned, that's what snow represents. As long as nothing disturbs the pattern, there will be storms, storm card, and it is rooted to the very nature of myself. However, there will be a great change to come. In sleep, my dreams shall reveal to me something of great importance. I must erase the past, let go of everything that was prior to this, and then I will glow and blossom to be the best version of myself. Because when we unlock our higher selves, that's when we glow and we really shine our brightest. So, okay, this is a very good general future. From the gist of it, it seems like everything is going to start working in my favor in a very good way. So that's very exciting. All right, the next, all right, actually, I'll shuffle first. And then we'll do romance. Oh. Well, usually if a card falls out, there's a symbolism to it. Okay, the sand again. The shot. The shadow. The twin. I'm a Gemini. Oddly enough, the twin. And the big. Okay, so what this is telling me is it will be a difficult path I will have to take. I have to take the shot that I have to take at the right time. The former shadow myself is trying to battle me and trying to keep me as the person I once was, but I will rise above it. I will grow as a person and become bigger than I am. Not physically, but in a spiritual or emotional and mental sense, yeah. And then the twin symbolizes that because of this inner battle, this struggle of, and it really does resonate with me very well. The twin is actually telling me that right now there's two sides of me battling inside. There's the side that believes I already have my desire, wants it, is going after and willing to do whatever it takes. And then there's the old self that's trying to battle. It's like a battle of twins. And right now they're evenly matched. But that is actually a good thing based on the other cards because it means that the good will triumph over the negative twin in the end result. So that's a very good sign. That pretty much symbolizes good hope and fortune for my romance in the future to come. It's very good. All right. And then I will do career-wise. What shall be the next? Revelation, the Clow card shall give me. Release. Oh. Okay. Ooh. All right. Wow, this is a very interesting fortune, actually. When it comes to my career, it's very sweet for me to do what I do as a professional. And I would agree that's very true. I will rise above all the former limitations of myself, the sweet and the float card. The light means that I'm coming to the light at the end of the tunnel and things are going to shine the brightest they ever have to have drawn this card. That is a very good sign. My bubbly personality is something that will assist me in becoming the best version of myself when it comes to my career. And all the illusions of how I thought my career could be succeeded in are being sort of outshined and they're vanishing away. Meaning I'm overcoming the illusion that I thought, oh, it would be difficult to succeed as an artist. It would be difficult to do these things. And I'm starting to realize, no, it's only that I believed it was difficult and that it's actually not as difficult as people make it out to be. That was just part of the illusion. So, yeah. Very good fortunes for all of these. I'm a bit worn out tonight, people. Please forgive the yawn. But yeah, in the meantime, I will wait a minute or so just to see if anybody else does want their general fortune told. If not, I will talk about the revelations I uncovered today a little bit more, as well as the wonderful manifestation which I received when it comes to something very crazy that, I'll put it this way, it did kind of shake me up a bit emotionally yesterday, but it was one of those things that it really felt like a test and a challenge that I knew I had to overcome the moment it happened. I tried not to react to it. I did react to it a bit, but better than I normally would have. Like I was upset about it, but at the same time, as I was upset about it, I was kind of like I had this calm optimism, like, oh well, you know what? Maybe this is just part of the way it is. Maybe there will be another way. Maybe I don't need to worry about this. If I already have all my desires, then this might be an opportunity that I missed, but it doesn't mean that more opportunities won't come. So I tried to remain hopeful and optimistic because with the new single from Hitomi Shimatani that came out, Mystic World, there was a contest for all the VIP fans that if you became a VIP fan and you pre-ordered it, you would get entered into like a contest or a raffle where you could get an autograph as well as several other prizes. And I thought, oh, that's exciting because some of the prizes in that are stuff I wanted, right? But I even thought, well, even if I didn't win, I'd still want to purchase the single just to support her, just because I love her very much, and she's one of my favorite artists. I mean, I always say this too, but just to give you further example, these two right here are my favorite artists. There's Hitomi, 3 disc greatest hits. To have a 3 disc greatest hits of somebody, you have to really like their music. And I could say I love every song they ever did. And that new Mystic World song, best song this year, I guarantee. It's going to be the hottest song in Japan. And it's dropping officially on July the 8th, the day after Tanabata. But it's going to be the best song this summer and this year. Ayumi Hamasaki, a great Japanese pop singer that I'm also a fan of, she dropped a single at the beginning of this month called Summer Again. And it's catchy. It's actually a pretty good song. The video was cool too. It was pretty interesting. It was cool to see her with black hair and dressed up in like Egyptian gold jewelry and stuff. But I was thinking, I'm like, I haven't even fully heard Mystic World yet, but it's way better. I'm like, he told me he's going to beat her. Ayumi Hamasaki's like one of the best pop singers over in Japan. Like, as somebody who loves the music, who studies this, she sold over 80 million records, right? So she's like huge over there. And that's why I was like, she's considered like one of the top artists. And they're both on the same record label, Avex, right? But all I kept telling myself too was, he told me he's going to beat her this time. Mystic World is way better than Summer Again. And I hadn't even heard the full song, right? So I was very excited in that regard to even hear Summer Again, right? So, and Chihara Minori, my best friend. Of course, he told me he's the one I love most. Chihara Minori, my best friend. She always hearts my YouTube comments. Very wonderful, sweet, optimistic, bubbly, cheerful woman. She played the voice of Yuki Nagato in the anime, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, very famous anime over there. And yeah, so she's a wonderful artist too. I mean, I have her 3 disc greatest hits because I love like all her songs as well. Hitomi is my absolute number one favorite. That's why I love her, and I'm determined that I shall marry her someday. Some people might laugh, but I'm serious about that. Anyways, yeah, I love Hitomi or whatever. So I really wanted to, buy the single, even if I didn't win in the contest or whatever, to, at least show my support. Like, as a big fan that loves all her songs, what I had heard of the preview from her vlog video on her personal YouTube channel was wonderful. And, yeah, even when I got like the special free preview as a VIP fan, we actually got like a 30-second preview of the music video for the single. All I could think was, wow, she looks great. Oh, that's going to be an awesome song. She's going to definitely beat Ayumi Hamasaki this year. So it was cool because I was sitting there thinking, I'd love to get that just to support her, just to help her that she could really go that much farther with this new single, right? And I actually woke up late that day, and all of the CD orders in order to qualify for the contest were sold out. So I was kind of bummed out, and I was like, oh, well, I guess it's okay. Yeah, I would have loved an autograph. Yeah, I would have loved a poster or VIP tickets to see her and all that. But I'll still buy the single when it gets released on July 8th, if nothing else. Like, I'll buy it normally, just because even if I didn't win, I would have loved to buy just to support her. So I'm not going to be too down about it. And then, oddly enough, it did get pre-released, like, as the audio today, and I was like, wow, it's great. Like, I heard the full song, I loved it. I was like, oh, I want to get it. Like, if there's an iTunes pre-order, I'll at least get it that way. So I looked it up. Sure enough, there was, and I was able to actually buy like a CD version of the single prior to its release. Now, it may take a while to get here, but it's not even about the wait at this point. I'm just excited that I could actually buy the single and give my support to Hitomi, because she means a lot to me. She's a very inspiring artist, and actually, she saved me through many of the darkest periods of my life. I mean, I'll put it this way. Chihara is like my best friend, because she always cheers me up when I watch her videos, and she makes me laugh, and she always hearts my comments. Even comments where I said, like, it feels like you're my best friend. I was cranking your greatest hits out of my backyard. The neighbors were looking, but I loved it. She even hearted comments like that. So it really does feel like she's my best friend already. It's wonderful. And if we're persisting in our assumptions, then they are my best friend by that standard. So it's great. It's wonderful. And then with Hitomi actually saved my life in many different ways, because, well, I'll put it this way. When I was a kid, I wasn't very popular when I first moved to Hamilton. I got picked on, bullied, didn't have a lot of friends, new city, new place. I didn't really fit in. But every night before bed, I would watch this anime called Inuyasha, and I loved it. I loved singing the Japanese songs. That's what really got me into the culture and the music and everything. And I remember too thinking, wow, that Angelus song, Angeresu, was the best opening theme song of them all. And oddly enough, I came back to this revisitation of all this. By the way, if anybody does come on live, just comment and I will get to your reading. But if not, I do have some time to fill out the rest of our program for this evening, so I will continue with my story till then. Anyways, yeah, so I was really excited. In fact, I've told a few of my friends this story, because I was dating another girl at the time, and things weren't really working out. We had a place together. It wasn't really happy as an environment or as a relationship. But I had this dream around that time where I was running through the rain with a Japanese woman wearing glasses. And I didn't know who this woman was for the longest time. Couldn't figure it out. Search, tried to figure out. Nobody matched the exact image that I had seen in my mind, right? So I had even kind of forgot about it, but it always did stick with me. Like, someday, because I've had dreams since I was small, where if I saw it from first person point of view perspective, they ended up coming true as premonitions, right? So I thought, someday I'm going to meet this woman. Someday, and in the dream, because we kissed in the rain and we had this romantic moment, I could tell, like, this is going to be my wife. This is my true love and all that, right? And I didn't know who they were for the longest time, but I felt that way in the dream. So oddly enough, time went on. I ended up dating this one Japanese woman named Ayane for a while. She sang on my song Impulse. If you check it out, it's on my debut album Impulse, titled after it. But that was the main theme song of the record. She sang on that one. And eventually we broke up. She took $500. She ran off to America to be with some other guy. And she told me I was worthless and I should die. So I was really broken spirited. It hurt me. I was down in the dumps. I even tried to end my life. I took 12 Tylenol. I was depressed. And I don't know what compelled me, because I feel like the universe always makes things happen for a specific reason. So something told me, hey, you know what? While I'm listening to these Japanese songs, I never actually did see the official music video for Angelus. That was the best opening Inuyasha opening theme song. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch that. And I started playing song after song after song of Hitomi's, right? And all I could think was, wow, she's so beautiful. Wow, every song she makes is just fantastic. And it changed my whole state of mind, my mood, my presence, everything. I became more hopeful and optimistic, and I started saying to myself, you know what? If I survive this, I'm going to marry that woman someday. I was imagining ahead of my evidence, but Goddard says we all do, right? So that's what was exciting about all that. And then, sure enough, I ended up dating this other Japanese woman around the time I finished making my first album, Impulse. She's on the cover. Her name was Haruna. And yeah, as time went on, I gradually got closer and closer to Hitomi. I mean, I started following her on Twitter. Her staff started following me back. I became a VIP fan. I started following her personal YouTube channel. And yeah, it was near the beginning of this year because a lot of rough stuff had happened. I was determined. I said, you know what? My life is going to change. I'm not going to be forced to be with somebody I don't want to be with anymore. If I'm going to be with somebody, it's going to be somebody I want to be with, right? I'm not going to settle anymore. So I set out for like this personal development quest, we'll call it, right? And I studied many teachers such as Bob Proctor, Sandy Gallagher, Neville Goddard, Robert Zink, Mary Kay, Earl Nightingale, just to name a few. Naya, who's a really good, inspiring coach I mentioned earlier, had good advice for me today. And as I started on this journey, there was a girl I liked at the time named Shannon, which I made songs about. If you go on my YouTube channel, I'm sure you'll see A Little Bit of Love, Part 2, Shannon's song, etc. Here's the thing. She stood me up twice, and she kind of treated me like dirt. And she had 3 kids, so it got to a point where I was like, I should have manifested this already. I should have had this. I was so good to them. Why did they choose that other guy over me? Why? And I was like, what am I doing going after such a mediocre goal? If I could have anybody, and I was down in the dumps. I was in a real negative vibration. I was singing Japanese songs trying to cheer up my mood. And then all of a sudden, I was singing Hitomi Shimatani songs. And I felt like upbeat, more high-spirited. And I thought, hey, what am I doing? If I'm going to go for anybody, I should go for Hitomi Shimatani. And then I remembered the Wish from 3 years ago and all that. And I decided, you know what? Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. And after that, I was watching one of her personal YouTube videos, oddly enough. And I saw her wear glasses. I'd never seen her wear glasses other than one other music video called Never Ever, because she always wore contacts in her music videos, or she just didn't have glasses on. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, wait a second. Those glasses are very uniquely styled, just like that woman in that dream all those years ago. And then I put 2 and 2, my mind like combined the pictures together, and I was like, she's the woman. And I was just so amazed, right? I was like mind blown by this. So it was just absolutely fascinating. And then as I persisted more and more in this assumption, I started to get more and more signs like that they were drawing me to them as well. That whatever they saw as the perfect partner embodied what I am becoming. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm becoming whatever is the perfect partner that she's embodying. Because when she started making this new song, Mystic World, I started to get the feeling when she was describing it, like, wait, it sounds like she's talking about the effects of what I've been affirming, what I've been using as my mantra, my positive affirmations to draw her towards me. And I realized, wait a second, she's drawing me towards her. And then this all ties into, I bet you the universe knew that all of this was going to happen in sequence all along. And the reason I share this is because if there really are no such things as coincidences or accidents, then all of this is happening for a good reason. And then especially when I heard the full version of Mystic World today, and even when she sang part of it in the preview, when she was recording it for the YouTube vlog video, she sang about every day falling in love more and more with somebody she's not sure of, but the universe has given her a message and these feelings in her mind and everything. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds like she's singing to me. Now, some people could say, oh, you're delusional, man. Well, my one coach, Naya, said that we are all delusional. We could either be delusional in a good way or we could be delusional in a bad way. So I share this because I'm confident that some people might say I'm delusional. But if I'm delusional, I'm just imagining ahead of my evidence. But I don't think that all of this is coincidence. In fact, I think everything is leading up to it. In fact, what Naya told me, my one coach, is that all our desires are already fulfilled, meaning everything has already happened. We are drawn towards certain things, our souls are moved towards certain things because it is a part of our own inner awareness that we have not yet reached on the physical world, or the 3D plane, we'll call it. So, yeah. And that's why I believe, all of this must be happening for a reason. And it really makes it a mystical world. But anyways, I was really hoping that somebody would have come on live for a reading, but since nobody came on tonight, I guess I will read part of one of my favorite books by Mr. Neville Goddard. I will read a part of the chapter 21, Free Will, because it's very fascinating. This is like, especially because so many law of attraction coaches and teachers scare the hell out of their students too when they say this. And especially I often get worried, what should I do? What could I do? So I need to constantly remind myself of this in itself. But oddly enough, it's Neville Goddard who actually gives me hope in the salvation of my dream already being an accomplished fact, and that I don't need to worry about the how, the means, the why, or the what. By the way, for that viewer, if you'd like a reading, please comment gender, zodiac, general, future, romance, and or future, career, and I will do your reading. But in the meantime, I will read this prior to that. So yeah, it says in the chapter 21, Free Will, which if nobody does comment for a card reading, I might just end up reading the whole chapter. It's pretty short. So it says, the question is often asked, what should be done between the assumption of the wish fulfilled and its realization? Nothing. It is a delusion that other than assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you can do anything to aid the realization of your desire. You think you can do something. You want to do something, but actually you can do nothing. The illusion of the free will is to do, but is the ignorance of the law of assumption, which all action is based. Everything happens automatically. All that befalls you, all that is done by you, happens. Your assumptions, conscious or unconscious, direct all thought and action to their fulfillment. To understand the law of assumption, to be convinced of its truth, means getting rid of all the illusions about free will to act. Free will actually means freedom to select any idea you desire. By assuming the idea is already to be a fact, it is converted into reality. Beyond that, free will ends, and everything happens in harmony with the concept assumed. I can, of mine own self, do nothing, because I seek not mine own will, but the will of the Father which hath sent me. In this quotation, the Father obviously refers to God. In an earlier chapter, God is defined as I am. Since creation is finished, God is never in a position of saying I will be. In other words, everything exists, and the infinite I am consciousness can speak only in the present tense. Not my will, but thine be done. I will be is a confession that I am not. The Father's will is always I am. Until you realize that you are the Father, there is only one I am, and your infinite self is that I am. Your will is always I will be. In the law of assumption, your conscience of being is the Father's will. The mere wish without this consciousness is the my will. This great quotation, so little understood, is a perfect statement of the law of assumption. It is impossible to do anything. You must be in order to do. If you had a different concept of yourself, everything would be different. You are what you are, so everything is as it is. The events which you observe are determined by the concept you have of yourself already. If you change your concept of yourself, the events ahead of you in time are altered. But thus altered, they change form again in a deterministic sequence, starting from the moment of this changed concept. You are a being with powers of intervention, which enables you, by a change of consciousness, to alter the course of observed events, in fact, to change your future. Deny the evidence of the senses and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Inasmuch as your assumption is creative and forms an atmosphere, your assumption, if it be a noble one, increases your assurance and helps you to reach a higher level of being. If, on the other hand, your assumption is to be an unlovely one, it hinders you and makes you a downway swifter. Just as the lovely assumptions create a harmonious atmosphere, so the hard and bitter feelings create a hard and bitter atmosphere. Whatsoever things are pure, just, lovely, and of good report, think on these things. This means to make your assumptions the highest, noblest, and happiest concepts. There is no better time to start than now. The present moment is always the most opportune in which to eliminate all unlovely assumptions and to concentrate only on the good, as well as yourself. Claim for your others their divine inheritance. See only their good and the good in them. Stir the highest in others to confidence and self-assertion by your sincere assumption of their good, and you will be their prophet and their healer, for an inevitable fulfillment awaits all sustained assumptions. You win by assumptions what you can never win by force. An assumption is a certain motion of consciousness. This motion, like all motions, exercises an influence on the surrounding substance, causing it to take the shape of echo and reflect the assumption. A change of fortune is a new direction, and outlook merely a change in arrangement of the same mind substance, consciousness. If you would change your life, you must begin with the very source of your own basic concept of self. Outer change, becoming part of organizations, political bodies, religious bodies, is not enough. The cause goes deeper. The essential change must take place in yourself, in your own concept of self. You must assume that you are what you want to be and continue therein. For the reality of your assumption has its being in complete independence of objective fact and will clothe itself in flesh if you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you know that assumptions, if persisted in, harden into facts, then events which seem to be uninitiated mere accidents will be understood by you to be the logical and inevitable effects of your assumption. The important thing to bear in mind is that you have infinite free will in choosing your assumptions, but no power to determine conditions and events. You can create nothing, but your assumption determines what portion of creation that you will experience. So I definitely recommend this. The Complete Reader of Neville Goddard has all his wonderful books in it. And since we're nearing the conclusion of our broadcast, we didn't get any other people's fortunes told tonight. But as I always say, if you'd like your fortune told and you catch this at a later time, I always stream live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I apologize for the dog barking. And all you have to do is just comment gender, zodiac, and if you'd like a general, future, romance, or a career reading, and I will read you your fortunes using the Clow cards. Now, that concludes our broadcast for the day. But yeah, if you hear me from now on say that Hitomi is my wife and Chihara is my best friend, you won't think it's weird because I'm simply doing what my teacher taught me to do. And I believe it's already an accomplished fact, which is why everything in my life led up to the events which have led me here right now. Hence, the events that led you to watching this video and uncovering my philosophy on all this. Anyways, take care. Have a wonderful night. Super Kami Guru Alucard. Peace out. Arigato gozaimasu tomodachi. Oyasumi nasai. Minasan. Matane.